Coffee and convo, y'all. Let's get it. Yo, salute to everybody already here in the building, man. You guys know what time it is. Welcome to the latest installment of Coffee and Convo. I am your host, Graphk Raider, man. Salute to the greatest chat in YouTube history. As always, make sure you guys get those likes up. That means wipe those feet. And also, hold on, did I say wipe those feet? Wipe them feet? You got to say it the wrong way to say it the right way. And also hit that subscribe button if you guys are not subscribed yet, man. Salute to the greatest chat once again in YouTube history, and salute to also everybody listening on Spotify and Apple Podcast, man. I see Green Dot Gang is heavy in the building. Salute to Joe, Raiders God, Punchy, Jonathan. I will be home tomorrow, brother. I'm flying out to Vegas tomorrow. Actually, I'll be home Thursday. My apologies. I'll be in Vegas for a day, and then I'll be in SAC Thursday, Friday, Saturday, Sunday. Salute to my guy, Jonathan. OJ in the building, Ron Justice, One Nation. I see my guy Primos in the building, Raider Loso, Federo, Raider Manny, all my people, man. I appreciate you guys so much. Salute to my sis, Erica. Salute, Graphk. Love to you and the family. Same to you and Rube, sis. Appreciate you so much. A lot to talk about today, you guys. I wanted to do a quick coffee and convo today. We do have the AFC West show tonight. Me, Darcy, he's feeling himself way too much right now, you guys. I need you guys, and little bro, I know you're probably in the chat right now, and I know you're probably hearing this. I need everybody to pull up and get on Darcy's top tonight, okay? Me and Ben and Darcy will be live covering the AFC West, everything that happened this week. It was a clean sweep in the AFC West, but we will be live tonight, 8 p.m. Eastern, 5 p.m. Pacific time. So make sure you guys pull up. I need you guys. Look, man, Darcy feels like they're about to win the Super Bowl. That's what he's saying in the chat. He's saying, oh my God, I can't wait till tonight. I am going to cook you, Graphk, and blah, blah, and so on and so forth. He is really, truly filming himself right now. He thinks that the Chiefs at what, 3-3, 3-4, wherever they are right now, that they're right back in the thick of things and they're going to win the Super Bowl. So I need you guys to jump on in later on tonight and tap in with me, man. So, but today, man, I wanted to talk a little bit about this trade deadline right around the corner. We have about, 2.5 weeks, I believe. We're jumping the gun a little bit here, you guys, because I do believe that Pete Carroll and company want to see what team shows up this Sunday in Kansas City. Let's just say the Raiders go out there and they magically rip the Chiefs apart, which I don't see happening in any world. But let's just say Geno goes out there, cleans up those mistakes. Genty runs all over that defense, which we're going to talk about that because you have to get the ground game going to beat the Kansas City Chiefs. That's the only way you're going to beat this football team on the road at Arrowhead, is getting Genty going and the run blocking, having to get cleaned up with that O-line. And we're going to talk about that here in a second. But at this point, we are sellers, complete sellers. But if you can win 2 games back-to-back, beating the lowly Titans and then beating the Chiefs on the road, going into the bye week, I do believe Pete Carroll, the veteran coach that he is, Chip Kelly, the veteran coach that he is, Graham and company, they're going to look at this thing and say, okay, well, we just beat the Chiefs, the team that, played in the Super Bowl last year that, was the AFC team that got blown out by the Philadelphia Eagles. We'll talk about anything that Darcy has good to say about the Chiefs today. We'll just kill him with the Eagles talk, okay? But I believe right now we are sellers, and I think that everybody can agree at 2-4, the way this team has looked up to this point, that we are complete sellers at the deadline. So we're going to go over a few players. Most of these guys have no guaranteed money left on the books. Most of these guys on the last year of their deal. Some of these guys may be some surprises, and we'll talk about that. And then we'll go over a list of players that can be potential trade candidates moving forward for other teams as well. Because I don't know. Once again, Pete Carroll is so – I don't know what to expect with him coming up with the deadline. It's year one. He thought that this wasn't going to be a rebuild. He thought that they were going to come in and compete immediately. So I just don't know what we're doing. And I hope that Spy Tech, if we get blown out in Kansas City, that Spy Tech will trump whatever Pete Carroll has to say and move some pieces, pick up some additional draft capital down the line so we can build this team the way we need to. So salute to my brother Jason real quick as well, man. Appreciate you, bro. My dog. This is for you, brother. You are a great content creator in this place. We have fun here and enjoy you on each and every day. Thank you for being the man that you are, my friend, man. Thank you, brother. You did not have to do that, Jason. So what I'm going to do is that 50 you sent me is going to be the cigar lounge money for me and you next time when I get back to SAC. So cigars on me and all that good stuff the next time we go out. Jay, my brother, love you, bro. Thank you so much for those kind words. And thank you for the $50 smackaroni. And I want to say this as well before we get to the football stuff, because I know a lot of people have their questions about what's going on. I have to say this real quick, and I'm going to do it. I don't care. I know some people are here for just football, but I want to say this. I just got off the phone. My brother Wasted. We had a conversation probably for about 2 hours. He'll be calling me back here in a second. He had to go back to work, but communication is key. Okay. I jumped the gun. We had some miscommunications between each other. I apologized. He apologized. Brothers argue, brothers fight. The thing that sucks about us is, right, we are public figures. So it's difficult to not do this in public. When you guys don't see us together for a month, there's a lot of question marks surrounding what are we doing and what do we have going on, and everybody starts questioning things. We had a conversation today. I love my brother. I'm very proud of him and what he has going on in his personal life with the Raiders stuff. It's deeper than rap with us. And that's why I took whatever we had going on so personal. But Shaq and Kobe, Jordan and Pippen, however you want to call it, that's always going to be a thing. So I just wanted to put that out there. Salute to my brother Wasted. Love him to death. We had a conversation today and we laughed at each other. We yelled at each other a little bit. And definitely at the end of the conversation was, I love you, bro. I love you. So hate sometimes you have to do stuff publicly, but once again, we're public figures. So things happen, right? When you guys start asking questions like, why have we not done a Graphk and Wasted show or a Wasted and Graphk show? However you want to slice it, right? I don't really, I'm like, damn, why haven't we? You know what I mean? But stuff happens in life and you have to, we're very prideful men and we're older dudes. We're kind of stuck in our ways, right? So, but that's my best friend, man. That's my brother, and we are good to go. Love my brother to death. So salute to Wasted and salute to everything he has going on. And Hammer's my brother, man. I love him to death. Love him to death. Hammer knows that. That's my dog. And we're going to have some more conversations and all that good stuff. But all that stuff is behind us, you guys. We're moving forward. Salute to my brothers, man. Salute to everything that those guys have going on. Definitely, man. So, yes, put that behind us, you guys. You don't have to comment in the comment section anymore. You don't have to ask about it. There's no more questions surrounding what we have going on. That is my brother. We both said our piece. We both were pissed off that we didn't reach out to each other about what we had going on behind the scenes. And we talked about that and we moved forward. So salute to my brother. Let me see. Yes, man. And I wanted to say that. I wanted to start the show off with this. And DeMarcus, I know you guys were asking because you care. Trust and believe. But I also seen a lot of people in both of our comment sections really starting to show who they really are. People saying, oh, you're better off doing this and you're better off doing that, and saying some really harsh, bad things about me or about him, right? It's okay to prefer, one or the other. It's okay to like Wasted's solo show better than mine, or watching him, you prefer to watch him by himself rather than me and him. That's okay. That's okay. But the thing is, when you're in there saying, oh, you're saying bad stuff, It's just like, come on, man. Like, I just love that I've seen a lot in the chat. And I'm seeing some names in the comment section right now. And it's funny because a lot of people show their true colors and trying to divide, and you're better off doing this and you're better off doing that. It is what it is. It's okay to prefer, but it's different when you're using really bad words to describe the situation. It's just nasty, nasty words. So it is what it is. But we're off that. We're off that. We are back to football. We are back to football. But I want to say this, RIP to D'Angelo, one of the greatest soul singers of all time. I hate to see this. I was on Twitter. Me and Waster were actually on the phone talking, and he was like, bruh, D'Angelo just passed. And I said, what? And I started going down the timeline, and everybody was sharing it. One of the greatest soul singers of all time, one of the greatest writers of all time. He's had some of the greatest music ever. One of the top singers of all time, man. So I just want to say RIP to D'Angelo. That sucks, man. I'm definitely going to play his music all day today in honor and in memory of him, man. He's one of the GOATs. One of the GOATs. Let me see. Who's my guy? Okay, so we trade Jacoby, maybe Kuntz. Let me say this. I don't think Kuntz has any value right now, Jay. I can go look at the statistics and see where we are, with him, but like he has been pretty much non-existent up to this point. Maybe there is a team like the Niners that would take a flyer on him because they need some edge help. Maybe Philadelphia makes a call. There's still that pipeline between Hunt and their GM out there in Philly. So maybe Philly would be interested in Malcolm Kuntz. I don't know if Pete and company are ready to move on from him, but I just truly don't know if there's any market for Malcolm Kuntz up to this point. He's really been non-existent. I mean, I've enjoyed watching Max like we always do. The interior of that defensive line has shown up week in and week out. I'm loving Booker. I was definitely wrong about that trade for Jacorian. Once again, he's on the IR with that shoulder injury. But the thing that scared me about moving Jacorian was initially is the depth at the cornerback position. That's why I'm like, why are you trading Jacorian when we have no depth there at the cornerback position? We only have maybe 4 or 5 guys tops on this line and on this roster right now. That's the reason why I'm like, why are you moving him right now? You know what I mean? And we had a bunch of bodies there on that defensive line before we even made a move for Booker. I like Booker. I think he's going to be great for us. I think we won that trade for sure. But once again, I was concerned about, the depth and the rotation at the cornerback position. But I just don't know, Jay, where we are in terms of where the market is for Kuntz. I don't know if Pete and company were smart, Spytech, they would be fielding calls because, again, he's been non-existent for us on the edge. And I love Malcolm Kuntz, but this is a contract year and he's not showing up. And I understand that he's coming off of a nasty injury and sometimes it takes time to get back, get back from that. But he doesn't have the luxury of time at this point, Jay. He doesn't have the luxury, right? Because he's on a contract year. So maybe the Niners, take a swing. Maybe the Philadelphia Eagles take a swing. There's some other teams out there that can use some edge help. Maybe. I do believe, regardless of what we got going on with Jacoby, I do believe he's going to be gone. There's no reason to keep him. Honestly, I love Jacoby. I think that he is a great wide receiver. I think that he's a great leader in that locker room. I believe that behind the scenes, and I've been told by other players, he's putting his arm around Dante. He's putting his arm around Jack Besh. He's putting his arm around those guys, the Trey Tuckers of the world. He's the veteran in that room. But you have to get something for him. You know what I mean? And I don't know what the comp pick would look like if you just keep him on the roster this year and you allow him to walk in free agency. You know how that thing goes with the whole comp pick situation, right? You let him walk and then you go pick up, let's just say you pick up Pickens in free agency and then it kind of washes the whole comp pick. It gets really weird and fuzzy with that. So honestly, I would rather move him. And right now he does seem like he's kind of checked out. He hasn't really, it looks like he's been kind of shortchanging his routes. Blocking wise, it seems like he's low key kind of checked out at this point. And I don't want to put that on his jacket, but just watching some of the film, watching some of the tape, it doesn't seem like Jacoby is fully bought in to what we are doing out there. I understand he wants a new deal. He's probably upset that we haven't extended him. So again, go get what you can from him for him right now. Jacoby is definitely a name to monitor. And I know that some people may not want to hear this. Salute to my brother Jason, as always. I know some people may not want to hear this, but the bye week is next week, you guys. If we get blown out by the Kansas City Chiefs, you got to like sell while strike while the iron is hot, so to speak. Devin White is coming off of a massive game, a pick, a strip sack. You know what I mean? What he had, like 9 tackles, I believe, total. He had a phenomenal game against the Tennessee Titans. If he has a really strong game against the Kansas City Chiefs and we get blown out, there's going to be teams out there calling for Devin White. And you may have to say, you know what? We got Eichenberg, we have Lindenberg, 2 young guys. You still have a Landon Roberts on this roster. And once again, that's a name to monitor as well, because a guy that has won a few championships with the Patriots, he wants to win. He wants to be in a winning program. If you're at the deadline, maybe a Landon is saying, you know what, get me out of here like Jermaine Pratt did. And I hate this, because if you would have held on to Pratt just for maybe another week or so, and nobody's seen Fred Warner getting hurt and being done for the season, but I believe the Niners would have made a call for at least send us a late round pick for Jermaine Pratt, inexpensive 1-year deal. He went out there and had a massive game for the Colts this past Sunday. I think he led them with 11 tackles in his first action with the Colts. So I wish we would have held on to him a little longer. That's a Spy Tech blunder. That's a Pete Carroll blunder. They should have held on to us. I think the Niners would have gave us something for him to come in there and try and, you can't replace Fred Warner, but definitely could have helped in that department at the linebacker position. But Devin White, to me, is a name to keep an eye on. If he can have 2 strong games back to back, if he can go out there against the Kansas City Chiefs and look really, really good, like he did against the Titans, maybe there's going to be a team that's going to come calling and say, hey, I'd like to take a flyer on him. What you guys want? I mean, if you can get a late round pick for a guy that's probably not going to come back anyways next year, the contract was nothing, pretty much no guaranteed money at this point. You're going to have to, flirt with the idea of moving on from Devin White. That is a name that I think some people are going to be like, what? But you have to keep an eye on him because he had a massive game. And some team may be out there that thinks he's going to continue to do that for us. And a winning program may say, let's go take a flyer on him and throw us a late round pick potentially for Devin White. So that's another name to keep an eye on in terms of the trade deadline. Dylan Parham in a perfect world, okay? Tell me what you guys think about this. And I don't think any team is going to make a move for Dylan Parham. Maybe some team thinks that he'll fit their scheme. Maybe some team out there is looking for some depth at the guard position. He's on an expiring contract. It probably wouldn't cost them nothing, former 3rd round pick. It'd probably be a late round pick. If you can move Parham, you move Parham. You just do, because again, you have Caleb Rogers just waiting in the shadows to be your left guard. Or you could potentially say, hey, man, Jordan Meredith is struggling at center. Let's put him back at left guard, which Pete won't do. He's already said he's not going to do it. But you could put Jordan Meredith back at left guard and put JPJ back at center. And then you can potentially put Caleb Rogers there at right guard, or they can just throw Alex Kappa back out there at right guard, which I am not okay with. But Parham would be a perfect name to part ways with and try to get whatever you can, because we're not going to bring him back. And I don't see in any world that Parham gets paid from this regime. I don't think that Spy Tech is going to say he did enough to get a new deal, and somebody out there will probably overpay because the guard market is absolutely bonkers year in and year out. We're not going to pay him. Just at least see what you can get for him, or at least just see if there's any team out there that would swap a late round pick or give you a 6th or 7th round pick. I know it sucks to think that you're okay with maybe getting a late round pick for a starting left guard, but newsflash, you guys, he probably would not be a starter on most football teams in this league. We have one of the worst offensive lines in football. So, yeah, he would probably be a depth piece for another team out there looking for some depth at the guard position. Salute the Bad News Raider. Yo, Docs, even though JPJ is on a rookie deal, do you think there might be a possibility that he gets? No, I don't. The way he's performing right now, I don't see it. Bad news. There's no, if they move JPJ, that'd be organizational malpractice. He's on a rookie deal. You have him for at least this year and another 2 years. There's no reason to move on from him. I know the concussions are concerning, but when he's on the football field, the O-line and the product is better. Ashton Genty is better with JPJ. If they move him, Pete Carroll and company have no idea what they're doing. If they trade JPJ, I've been a Spy Tech fanatic. I've been a fan of him. I'm excited to see what he can do with this team moving forward with all that draft capital and all that salary cap. But if he moves JPJ, I am on the get rid of Spy Tech train. Simple and plain. You have to keep him around. He's inexpensive. He's on a rookie deal, and it's clear cut that the O-line is better with JPJ out there, whether it's at guard or at center. And it's clear cut that Ashton Genty is better when JPJ is on the football field. So that would be like absolutely disgusting bad news if they moved on from JPJ. I would hate it, and I would be calling for Spy Tech to get fired because I just think that'd be absolutely disgusting. Jay Raider, nobody wins when the family feuds. Glad to see you and your crew on the same page. Raider Nation loves y'all. Raider, salute to my guy, man, Jay Raider. This is facts, bro. This is facts. Let me say this, man. I'm an emotional dude. I love my people. I love my people. I love them very hard. Sometimes it's a detriment to me, but I love very hard. You know what I mean? And sometimes when you're not communicating, things happen, certain things. But once again, bro, like regardless of even what I've said about the situation, nothing will stop me from having the love that I have for Wasted. Just, it won't. That's my dog. That is my road dog. That is my brother. I will fly it. I told him, I said, bro, I was ready to fly out to Jersey and sit down with you. He was like, bro, I was about to plan to fly out to Texas to come sit down. So it's that deep. You know what I mean? So once again, man, thank you guys for the concern and all that good stuff. Always good to see my brother, Andy, in the building. With the way Woolen has played this year, would you even want it? No. I said this yesterday, that there's no reason to trade for Tariq Woolen at this point because he hasn't performed at a high level. He's not in high demand, and he's on an expiring deal. So if you really want Tariq Woolen, just wait until he enters free agency and bring him in on a cheap deal, because Tariq Woolen at this point is probably, Andy, going to get a 1-year deal somewhere, or maybe a 2-year, second-year team option type deal. He has struggled in Seattle recently. So there's no real reason to move anything for Tariq Woolen at this point, unless maybe you swap a late-round pick with Seattle. I don't know if that would do it. I don't know what Seattle thinks about Tariq Woolen at this point. You know what I mean? But I wouldn't give up a draft pick. Now, we can use some depth there. We can even use another starter because Caillou Blue is not a starter. But I'd swap a late-round pick. I'd swap something for Tariq Woolen because, once again, he's on an expiring deal, and you get a better look at him. And if you want to keep him around, you can keep him around, pay him in the offseason. But, again, he'll be a free agent. So there's no reason to make a trade and move draft capital for him at this point, especially when he's been struggling in Seattle. So, yeah. And Primos, White, he definitely had a great game against the Titans. He definitely was possessed. He looked really good out there, man. Devin White looked phenomenal against that Tennessee Titans football team. But, again, once again, you have to, sell while the stock is high. You know what I mean? And if we lose to the Kansas City Chiefs and we're 2-5 entering the bye week, honestly, you can only afford to potentially lose maybe 3 more games tops before you're pretty much eliminated. You know what I'm saying? Like, you have to win at least 9 games to be somewhere in the hunt, 9-8 range, to be in a hunt for a playoff spot. The AFC has struggled this year. You know what I mean? And to think about it, we lost 4 games straight, and we're only 2 games back in our division. And we're only 2 games back of, I believe, the last playoff spot at this point as well. So we're definitely still alive. But with the product that we're putting out there lately, I just don't see a team that is going to come alive at some point. It starts on Sunday. If you can beat the Chiefs and you enter the bye week on a back-to-back, you win 2 games and you win 1 on the road in Kansas City, then we'll have something to talk about. But again, until then, I'm selling. I'm looking at Devin White. I'm looking at Dylan Parham on an expiring contract. Put the young guys out there. I want to see Caleb Rogers. I want to see Charles Grant out there at left tackle. Stone Forsythe sucks. We know who he is at this point. You got to look at those veterans that you brought in free agency. You have to look at the Elandon Roberts, the Devin Whites, the Jamal Adams of the world. If you can get anything for those guys, because more than likely they're not going to return next year. So those are the guys you have to keep an eye on. And Jacoby, for sure. I think that's the one guy that makes absolute 110% sense to move on from, regardless if you win or lose. Because, again, you drafted Jack Bech in the 2nd round. He is the guy that was going to replace Jacoby from day one. And at this point, the young guys need those reps. There was a lot of times, you guys, Jack Bech was open in that game against the Tennessee Titans, and Geno could just not find him. So I'm ready to give Jack Bech the keys to the car, per se, and let him go out there opposite of Trey Tucker and try to help this team win. The youth movement needs to be on full display. We need to start seeing something out of this draft class opposite of just Dante starting, Ashton Genty. But we need to see Caleb Rogers. We need to see Charles Grant. We need to see Tonka Hemingway, more of him. We need to see more of JJ Pegues. Like, you got nothing out of the 6th round at all. You traded Tommy and Cam Miller's on the practice squad. At what point are you trying to sell your fan base on, we're going to get something out of this class? I understand it's a rookie year, and some of these guys, they get redshirted. It happens. I know that some of these guys were developmental talents, but like, if you're going to sell us on the youth movement, you need to sell us on the youth movement. These guys need to be out there getting live bullets. So to Javi, would you rather be a 4-2 team and get blown out by the Chiefs, or be 2-4 and beat the Chiefs? Also, would you trade Jacoby and a 4th or 5th for Quinnen Williams? Man, that Jets defense has struggled this year. They look really good against Denver, but Denver's offense has been, that's one of the better defensive tackles in football. And it seems like all those guys are kind of struggling out there with the Jets. Sauce Gardner is terrible right now. But Jacoby in a 4th or 5th for Quinnen Williams, I definitely would. But the thing is, why would the Jets do that? They just paid Garrett Wilson. I know he is I believe they put him on the IR, right? Or he's out this week. I don't know how long, the severity of that injury, but he'll be out for a minute. I don't think that the Jets are in any situation to try. They'll sell. They're going to be selling. But why would the Raiders be buying? I think right now, Javi, before you make a move for a Quinnen Williams, you need to figure out, what are we doing with the money from Christian Wilkins? We have to let that situation play out before we decide to go out there and make a move for a Quinnen Williams. And right now, we are not in buyer mode. We're just not in buyer mode. We would look absolutely crazy making the call to the Jets to try and get Quinnen Williams when we're 2-4, potentially 2-5 after this Sunday. But that is a great question. I hate the Chiefs, but I would rather be 4-2 10 times out of 10, because guess what? If you lose to the Chiefs and you're 4-2, you're 4-3. If you beat them at 2-4, you're 3-4. So I don't care about the Chiefs win. At this point, I'd rather be 4-3 and be in the thick of things in the AFC, because that conference has been really, really bad. So give me 4-2 over 2-4 and beating the Chiefs 10 times out of 10. Salute to my guy, Javi, man. Appreciate you, brother. Ira, my dog. Trade Parham for a half pack of Newports, menthol 100s, and a 6-pack of 8-ball. Oof. Oof. Salute to Ira, man. I know, because I used to drink those. I used to smoke those limos, man. Pack them up. I know all about those limos, man. I know all about the Newport 100s. All that fiberglass entering your lungs. Salute to Ira, man. Get whatever you can, right? Chris, I appreciate you for the kind words. Larry, would you make a call? No, not at all. There's no way in hell. No way in hell. He is a locker room cancer. For Baltimore to sign him to their practice squad and just release him, he's on his 4th team now? Is he on his 4th team? Detroit, Texans, Philly, Baltimore. I believe those are the 4 teams that he's played for up to this point. No, sorry, Bob. I'm good. I'll wait for Lonnie Johnson to come back, and I'll take my chances with the vet. I don't. There's no reason to bring him in a situation. I mean, apparently that's why they moved on from Jermaine Pratt, right? Because of locker room issues, right? So why would you bring in a cancer like Chauncey Gardner-Johnson, who doesn't even fit the billing? Like, AB is a future Hall of Famer. Antonio Brown is one of the greatest players at his position ever. Imagine getting the Antonio Brown of the safety position who's never been a Pro Bowler. It makes absolutely no sense. So no, sir, Larry, I am good, brother. I am good. Simon says the reports are that Jamal Adams says the Raiders locker room was starting to build out. I mean, shit, who won it? 4-game skid, Silent. Who won it? You the whole JPJ thing, the Christian Wilkins thing, the playing some of these guys out of their own positions. There's a long laundry list of shit. Why wouldn't there be some locker room, friction. Look, man, it's never fun when you're losing football games for the fan base, for the players, for the coaches, for the upper management. It's not fun at all. It's not fun at all. You can't sell me on a good culture and you're 0-6. You know what I mean? Like the Jets there's nothing you can say that their locker room is intact. That it's a great chemistry. No, they're 0-6. Winning brings out culture. Winning brings out the better, in every player. Winning brings out, that character. You can't continue to lose ball games and expect the locker room to not be in shambles or be close to it. The reason why we've had so many locker room issues, bro, for so long has been because we've lost for so long. It's just, honestly, in 2021, remember the Ruggs shit, the Damon Arnett shit, the John Gruden shit. Not once did we hear anything about the locker room, being in trouble. These guys rallied around each other. They found a way to win some games, and they found a way to get into the wild card against the Cincinnati Bengals. That was the locker room still rallied around each other. If there's problems ever in the locker room, you guys, it's because you're not winning. Jermaine Pratt probably said, get me the hell out of here. Get me back with my DC Lou in Indianapolis. They're the number one team in the AFC right now. And look what he did this Sunday. He went out there and led them in tackles. I believe 11. Winning brings that out. Rube says, what are your thoughts on Troy Fautanu? He's sitting on the bench in Pittsburgh. He can play left tackle for us. Miller is out, and kick him to compete for guard next year. I've never been really a fan of him like that, Rube, to be honest with you. And I don't know the situation in Pittsburgh I know they drafted him pretty early, and I don't know if he's fell out of favor out there. Honestly, this is the thing, Rube. I'm not making any moves to try and better this roster. I would rather stick it out with what we have or sell than go out and try to pick up another piece to bring into the mix. If you're going to move around with the O-line, fiddle with what you have. Why go get a Troy Fautanu when you just have a Charles Grant that you used the third-round pick on? Put him out there. Fautanu there's a reason why he's on the bench right now, right, Rube? And I've never been the biggest fan of him. I've never have. But I'm not buying anything. I'm not going to go out and trade for anything. If anything, I'm selling pieces. I'm not buying pieces. We're 2-4. Even if we beat the Kansas City Chiefs, just stand pat. I would still move Jacoby. Go get you a draft. Go get you a piece. Go get you a draft piece. But if you beat the Chiefs, just stand pat. If not, go out there and sell the farm. But not the top guys, not the Maxes of the world and those type of guys. But the guys we mentioned, the Devin Whites of the world, if somebody needs a linebacker, if someone needs a middle linebacker and they think that Landon Roberts can come help them on a winning team in the run game, there's pieces that you can move for late swaps or some late round picks. But honestly, I wouldn't make that move. Miller will be back next year. If anything, I don't want to take away from Charles Grant's development. Put him at left tackle. Get Stone Forsythe the hell out of here. I don't want to bring anybody else in to take reps away from a guy that you just spent a third-round pick on. Salute to my guy, Rube, man. I know what you mean, though, brother. Like, and I don't want to seem like I'm like getting off on you about that comment. You know what I'm saying? Like, I'm just like passionate about what we got going on right now. I feel like you already have these guys in the building. You already have a potential left tackle that you drafted to be the replacement for Colton Miller down the line at left tackle. You just got DJ Glaze last year at right tackle. So there's a reason why they drafted Charles Grant. Now, I don't know if their plan was to move him to guard. Only time will tell. But if anything or anyone is going to get left tackle reps, it needs to be Charles Grant. Simple and plain. I don't want to go bringing anybody else off the streets because we're not in win now mode right now. We played some really bad football up to this point. And once again, you got to if you beat the Chiefs, we may have a different conversation come bye week, because beating those two teams back to back and getting a week off before you face Jacksonville at home, that can be major for this football team. But once again, that Chiefs team is starting to take off right now, and they're starting to find their footing. I mean, Patrick Mahomes had 4 touchdowns, 0 picks against the Detroit Lions. And I know that Detroit's secondary was beat up, but when you look at their defense, right, like the Chiefs have total defense, they're number 12. Surprisingly, we're number 11 right now. But total defense, we're ahead of the Chiefs by 1 position. They're giving up 311.2 yards a game. We're giving up 311 a game. We have given up 17 touchdowns. They've given up 14. When you look at their passing defense, though, they're one of the better passing defenses in football. They're number 8, giving up only 192 in the air. They've given up 7 touchdowns. And then we're 19, 215.7, and we've given up 8 in the air. The rushing defense is the thing that you have to exploit this Kansas City Chiefs team with, because they're not the best, but they're not, but they're not the worst. We're one of the better teams in football. We're a top 10 unit against the run. If that Commanders game never happened, we'd probably be a top 5 team right now, but we're 10. We're number 10, giving up 95.3, but we've given up 8 touchdowns in that time span. But the Chiefs are number 19 in terms of rushing defense. They're giving up 119.2 a game. They've given up 6 touchdowns on the ground. So we need to find a way here, you guys, this Sunday to run the football. If I'm Pete Carroll, Brennan Carroll, Chip Kelly, Joe Philbin, I am working on run blocking all week long. All week long. Find a way to just at least get the ground game going. You are not going to beat this football team not being able to run the football. Geno cannot go out there and pass against this secondary. You need to run the football effectively. You need to keep Patrick Mahomes off the football field as much as you can. This needs to be an Ashton Jeanty special. You need to have all hands on deck at the running back position. Mostert. Look, you put a fullback back there. We've been screaming for J.J. Pegues or one of those guys to be back there to help in the run game. You have to be able to run the football this Sunday, or we are going to get blown out. I repeat, this can be the Indianapolis Colts game 2.0 if you do not run the football effectively. Stone Forsythe, Parham, Meredith, hit back-to-back weeks for Meredith, man. Jeffrey Simmons, Chris Jones, tough 2-week stretch for Jordan Meredith. But they need to preach run blocking all week long, because Kansas City blitzes a ton. Spags is going to send the house. And also, what they're going to do is stack the box. They're going to say, Geno, go ahead. You lead the league with 10 picks. You're going to have to beat us with your arm. Now, play action is going to happen a ton in this game. I'm telling you now, they're going to try to throw off this defense whatever way they could. Make it believable, Geno. Some of this pass, play action I've seen, it doesn't even look realistic. It looks like I already know what's happening. But they're going to stack the box at times, and they're going to say, Geno, go out there and beat us. But even with the box that, you have to be able to run the football. You have to be able to run the football. I'm telling y'all now, if Jeanty doesn't have over 100 yards on the ground this week, maybe even more than that, I'm talking about the Chicago Bears special, like 130, 150 on the ground, we are going to be in trouble. You have to be able to run the ball against this team. That is the one place where you can exploit this defense, and it's through the rush and attack. You have to be able to run the ball. So to Jay Insight, Graphk, you kept it 100 the whole time. We're wasting and vice versa. Y'all were the goats of this Raider content. I agree with you, Insight. Salute to my brother, man. Appreciate you, bro. Salute to old school 1961. Even though he can't find an open hole with Astroglide and a jar of Vaseline, we need to trade Zeus. The thing is, old school, and I agree with you, you're not going to get anything for him. You're not going to get anything for Zeus. Well, honestly, what could you get? Bro, we would probably have to attach a draft pick to him to get rid of him. So in the grand scheme of things, just move on from him in the offseason. Doesn't cost you anything. He has 1 year left, I believe, on his deal next year. Just move on from him. But you're not going to get anything for him. Hey, little bro, I'm live right now. All right, bet. Salute the hammer. But yeah, you're not getting anything for Zeus. Good luck. Salute to 2-4. Sorry, I'm at work, so in and out. Pause this live stream, but the tripod is always stronger together. I hope that we get more shows. Salute to my guy 2-4. I appreciate you, my brother. The thing is this, once again, before I can even think about a show, I had to make sure that, we fixed what we had going on behind the scenes. So, and then we can move on, and do what we always do, which is put out that great content. You know what I mean? But once again, I got to lock in with all my guys. on a personal note, because once again, we are not like everybody else on the internet, you guys. We're not these shows where these guys never meet up with each other. We're not that. We are actually brothers in real life. That's why it's personal. That's why feelings get tied to shit. We are actually a team that truly loves each other. Met each other's wives, met each other's families. You know, we are that. We're not like these other dudes on the net where they don't even know how tall a motherfucker is in real life. You know what I'm saying? Like, so it is what it is. But 2-4, I appreciate you, bro. Thank you so much. But yeah, you gotta get the run game going this weekend, you guys. But we'll talk more about the Chiefs game tonight. Me and Darcy will be doing a preview, and then also maybe having another show with one of let me salute my guy, because he reached out to me. Oh, he just hit me up right now. Do you have any time tomorrow by chance? Okay, so salute to my guy. How about those Chiefs? Reached out to me. We'll be doing a show tomorrow. So I don't know if you guys are familiar with this work. He has 300,000 subscribers on YouTube. So we'll be doing a preview as well. He just hit me up right now and said, let's do something tomorrow. So stay tuned for that. I don't get my haircut tomorrow, and then my flight leaves tomorrow late at like 10 p.m. So I'm going to try and work something out with him probably midday. So stay tuned for that. Stay tuned for that. But we got a lot more to break down with this Chiefs game. I'm trying to get in as much content as I can, you guys, before I get home to SAC on Thursday, because once again, there's going to be a lot of moving around, and I'm going to have my phone. I'm not going to be able to set up my stuff and all that good stuff, the lighting and everything. So salute to my guy, Rube. A lot of teams we played haven't had dominant slot DB production. Most teams running cover 4 soft shell. Spags is not going to do that. He's going to leave McDuffie on an island in the slot. Trey and Jacoby have to eat. Oof. Rube with a bomb. Salute to Rube, bro. That was just a great comment. This is factory outlet. Honestly, who has been the best slot corner that we faced up to this point? This is facts. Salute to my guy, man. Definitely, though, I think that Trey is going to eat. I think Trey's going to have a game for us in the passing game if Geno has the opportunity to throw the football. I mean, look, once again, Spags blitzes a ton, Rube. I think they blitz more than any team in football. You know what I mean? So there's going to be a ton of pressure on Geno to get the run game going first and foremost, but getting rid of the football quick, fast, and in a hurry. But man, that was a phenomenal comment. Salute to my guy Rube on the $20. Yeah, that was the gospel, bro. Facts. Got to find a way to get those guys going in the passing game. Panty Raider, yes, I will be in Yuba City Friday. I also hit up my brother Sanjit to see if we can put something together while I'm back home as well. My guy is from my city, so I'm trying to put something in play for when I get home. So, but yeah, in terms of the trade deadline, you guys, Jacoby is definitely the name to keep an eye on. We've been talking about that for a while. There's some interesting names out there also, you guys. We already went over this. We could talk about the offense as well, right? Because this defense has had a big game against the Tennessee Titans. We're facing a Kansas City Chiefs team now, you guys, where this offense is starting to figure it out. A blend of running the football with Pacheco. You know, they get Rice back on Sunday, which is scary. Patrick Mahomes is doing Patrick Mahomes shit. I mean, they have the number 8 total offense in football right now. They're averaging 360 yards a game. They have 18 offensive touchdowns. Once again, the Chiefs are starting to figure it out. Passing offense, number 8, 241.3 a game. They have 11 touchdowns in the year. We're number 18 right now, 201.5 with 7 touchdowns in the year. Geno has struggled. It's actually a shocker to see that we're kind of a middle of the pack team in terms of the passing offense. The rushing attack, though, they're not really that far. Once again, they're 14th in football right now. Pacheco, they've been giving him more reps, and they've been finding a way to be effective in the ground game. 118.7 yards a game for the Chiefs on the ground. They also have 7 touchdowns on the ground. We're 23rd in rushing attack in football right now. We're averaging 105.2, and a lot of that is because the offensive line is really, really bad. We only have 3 touchdowns on the ground up to this point. Scoring offense, Chiefs, number 9. They're top 10 pretty much in damn near every category on the offensive side of the ball. They're averaging 25 points a game, 25.8 points a game, 18 total touchdowns. And yeah, we're one of the bottom of the barrel offensive teams right now. We're 29th, only averaging 17.2. And we have 10 offensive touchdowns right now. Most of those are all Trey Tucker, Genty, and I believe one to Mayer, right? Red zone offense, I believe the Chiefs are kind of more middle of the pack, the 13th, 64% rate right there in the red zone. And then again, we're probably the worst football team. We're right there with the Chargers. We're 31 in football in the red zone. We got to get better there. Third down offense, the Chiefs once again 11th. We're tied with them in terms of third down offense, both at 11, 41.3 convert rate right there for the third down offense. So once again, they're starting to get this thing rolling out there in Kansas City in terms of the offense. That defense is going to do their thing. We got to find a way. I'm hoping that these coaches behind the scenes are cooking up a master class. We need to play our best game this weekend, or we're in trouble. In the words of the great and powerful Bernie Mac, trouble. We need to cook up the best game plan that we have had all season long. And it starts with Chip Kelly, Patrick Graham, and Pete Carroll. Ski Mask, fingers crossed for Sellers. Facts. Incoming in the draft works perfect with Geno's contract too. This is facts. Might make too much sense given our Raiders track record. And when it makes sense, guy, guess what? The Raiders don't do it. Salute to my guy, man. And I think that he would operate Chip Kelly's system to perfection. A real dual threat guy that I think is going to be a superstar. Did we TN08? Yes. I love that. Hold on. Real quick. Let me read this super. Geno might be Oprah this weekend. You get a pick. Ira, if we have to throw the football time, definitely. If we get down a few scores quick, expect Geno to go out there and just gift. You get a gift. Factory. Did we just sign my guy? Former Raider great. I love Curtis McClendon. Chattanooga's finest. I love Curtis McClendon. Another guy, another Pete special, played in Seattle, right? I love that move. Not here to act as though we just signed an all-pro guard, but we got some breaking news here, you guys. The Raiders just signed Curtis McClendon. This was one of my favorite guards in that draft class. Love it. Let's get it. Let's go. Should start him this week. Did we sign him to the practice squad, TN08? Let me go to Twitter real quick. I'm going to see. I guarantee you we signed him to the practice squad. Activate him immediately. Put him out there and have him start ASAPless. I want to see if there's any news on that. Salute to everybody here in the building. Make sure you guys wipe them feet, man. Hit them thumbs up. If you guys are not subscribed yet, make sure you hit that subscribe button. Yeah, start him, One Nation, right away. I want to see. Was he signed to the practice squad, you guys? Let me see. Curtis McClendon. McClendon Curtis. I always say his name backwards. All right, let me see. To the practice squad. Okay. So we signed to the practice squad. Okay, Rick, got you. Yeah. So we signed to the practice squad. Look, get him up to speed immediately. Get him up to speed immediately. Cut Alice Kappa. Get McClendon Curtis on the active roster immediately. And let's run it. Cut Kappa. Put Parmass on the bench and get McClendon Curtis in there. Elevate that man immediately. I love it. I'm about to text. Hold on. Waste is going to laugh because that is my guy. Yeah. What are we doing with Antonio Maffi, Rube, at this point? Like, what are we doing? What are we doing? I know, Alex. He's our number one option in the passing game, bro. He's our number one option in the passing game. He's like our number 2, number 3 receiver right now. You know what I mean? It's like Alex high stakes Kappa, baby. All right, boom. There we go. Oh, Javi, I did not see your super, brother. My apologies. Let me go find that real quick. I did not see it. I think I read it. Javi, I read your super, bro. Javi, I definitely read your super, brother. I did not skip it. I promise. I'm looking. I read that. Bro, I read your super. Yeah, TNOA. I think the McClendon Curtis is a solid pickup. Definitely like that. He said Kappa got 1-inch vert. Yo, Parm is out now. I wouldn't go that far. Nah, Bodega, I don't see the Javi super. I don't see it, bro. I promise you, I don't see it. The one that he had that he put up, I read it. So we need to blitz damn near every down, put that pressure. The thing that sucks is if you do that One Nation this week, Patrick Mahomes will make you pay for it. He'll make you pay for it. Patrick Mahomes is different, bro. Like, look, he'll get out the pocket and use his legs and create a masterpiece. You can't just blitz all over Patrick Mahomes and expect him to not create plays with his legs. He will extend plays, especially with Rice back. He has a ton of options at the receiver position. You can't. You got to be very, very strategic in terms of your defensive scheme this week. You cannot do that. You know, it sounds good. I would love to see Max, attacking Patrick Mahomes every single down with a Landon, those guys coming from the second level of the defense, but you can't do that. You can't. You definitely can't, because they'll make you pay for it. They will make you pay for it. Let me see. Cameron, I appreciate you, brother. Look, man, this is the thing, right? Any given Sunday, man, you just never truly know. If I'm a betting man, the Chiefs are going to win this ball game, especially at home and coming off of a crazy win against the Detroit Lions, 30-17. I mean, look, you look at it on paper, you're thinking Kansas City's going to whoop our ass. But Max always shows up against the Chiefs. Don't think for once that Pete Carroll and company don't want to go out there and beat Andy Reid. This is the first chance that Pete Carroll gets at facing the Chiefs in the silver and black. You don't think that he wants to try and make some noise? Now, I'm not saying that he can put it all together. I think roster-wise, we're far from that Kansas City Chiefs roster. Like, by no means are we even close to what they have on both sides of the football. But once again, any given Sunday, you just never truly know. But once again, it starts with the run game against the Chiefs. I don't think you're going to get a lot going in the air with those DBs. They have one of the better secondaries in football. You have to be able to get the run game going. It starts up front. That O-line needs to block their asses off, and Genty needs to have a Boise State performance this week against the Kansas City Chiefs. Simple and plain. Yeah, OG, I think sometimes, right, we definitely talk about, sometimes Max over pursuing. The thing is, man, Max is an all-pro for a reason, and I'm not going to nitpick at his game. Sometimes he does over pursue. Sometimes you're like, damn, man, he went too wide, right? It happens. As edge rushers, man, when you're facing some of the better offensive lines, these guys are smart, man. They're strategic. They know how to push you out of the – it's the little things that these offensive linemen do, pushing you out of the play, making you go wide so the quarterback buys an extra second or two of time to create. You know what I mean? So it's not always Max's fault. And also, Max is being held damn near every play, every single game. And Razor definitely needs to stop dropping Max in covers. This is facts. Jason says Andy Reid is 3-2 versus Pete. Okay. Don't think for once that Pete doesn't want to even up the odds and go 500 on him. Facts. Yeah, and silver facts. But this is the thing. Put Darian Porter out there. At least there's the what if factor. There's the unknown with Darian Porter. You know what you have with Blue Kelly. Caillou, and I don't know what the hell Pete was saying that he had a bounce back game. Did you guys see that at the presser? He said that Caillou Blue had a bounce back game. It absolutely blows my mind sometimes that Pete is just so bought into certain players that he continues to lie to this fan base. Continues to lie about Geno. And now you're doing this thing with Caillou Blue. Bro, it's been a rough ride for him. A bounce back game. I mean, you're facing one of the worst offenses in football. And let's not act as though those big catches that Cam was kind of dinking and, well, not dinking and dunking, but those garbage, it was all coming up against Caillou Blue. The big plays, the big splash plays, I mean, at least from what I remember, Van Jefferson has 75 yards. And I think that all of that damn near was on Caillou Blue Kelly. So I don't know what you mean in terms of a bounce back week. Like, what do you mean by that? What do you mean by that? We gave up 222 yards in the air. Yeah, we held them to 10, but what are we talking about here? It's time for Darian Porter, man. It's time. Put him out there, or even put DeCameron Richardson. Once again, it's not Caillou Blue Kelly's fault, man. It's not his fault. It's Pete for just continuing to throw him out there into the fire when he's just not ready to go yet. And watch Pete end up saying, you know what? Caillou Blue, you get to cover Rashee Rice on Sunday. Watch what happens. Now, more than likely you put Eric Stokes on him, right? You put your number one corner on him. And even then, you're thinking Stokes, your number one, is the problem there. There's a problem there. And I like Stokes. But watch him put Caillou Blue Kelly on Rashee Rice. That'd be nasty. Yeah, AJ, at best, he's a rotational piece, for sure, or a special teams guy. The one thing I do like about Caillou Blue is he'll come down. He's a downhill tackler. He'll come down in the ground game, and he'll lay a hat on a running back. That's the one thing I do like about Caillou Blue. He ain't no punk. Caillou Blue ain't no punk. He'll come down in the run game and lay a hat on somebody. I'm not upset about that. But once again, in coverage, he just leaves a lot to be desired. And he's just not ready to go yet. And I think right now he's the most picked on corner in football. And Dallas has given up a lot of ass in the passing game. Like a historic amount of ass in the passing game. Can you imagine that Dallas has like the number one offense in football right now with Dak and Javonte Williams, and that defense is just giving up so much cheeks that they're 2-3-1, and they just lost to the Carolina Panthers? Nasty. Nice. McClendon will help. He should start over Parham, another bully guard. This is facts, man. I watched him very, very closely in college. I was really, really happy when we picked him up as a UDFA. And then next thing you know, Seattle poached him. And he went over there and he started some games for him. So, yeah, man. But I'm very much so worried about Caillou Blue, whether it's Worthy, whether it's Hollywood Brown, whether it's Rice, whoever it is. I'm very, very worried about this kid in coverage come Sunday. But it's up to Pete Carroll to protect this kid. Like, real talk. And again, there's only so much protecting Geno that Chip Kelly can do. At some point, you have to be able to throw the long ball. You can't just continue to dink and dunk away and expect for this team to go out there and be successful. You have to be able to find Tucker, up the sideline. You have to be able to get your fourth round guy, Dante, going. Like, at some point, there's only so much disguising that Chip Kelly can do. I put this on Twitter, you guys, and I really truly feel like this. This is how I feel about Geno right here. Like that white woman in scary movies, like, Chip, we're going to protect you from turnovers. And then Geno just says, you know what? I'll go ahead and choose death, the scary movie way. Like, I'll choose this way. Like, that pick was just, it lets you know when you just, it's like, I feel like Geno prefers to throw picks at this point. Like, let me just go out there and just throw it. It doesn't feel right if I don't go out there and throw it and just throw a turnover. Like I have to give the defense an opportunity to go out there and score against this offense. Against this defense. I feel like Geno has a grudge against this defense up to this point. Like he just likes to put them in bad situations. Does Geno have a grudge with Max Crosby? Does he have a grudge with Jeremy Chin? Does he not like these linebackers? Like what is going on here? What is going on here? Geno, do you just not like our defense? But there's only so much of that you can do because this game, KC's going to throw a ton of different looks. Once again, they blitz a ton. There's going to be a ton of pressure on Geno. He has to find ways to get rid of the football, whether it's quick, fast, and in a hurry. But this is a week, you guys, where we have to run the football effectively. But I think you have to take a few shots because once again, these past few weeks, they've been keeping Geno at bay in terms of throwing the deep ball. This is the week when they stack that box up, which they probably will a ton because they want to keep Ashton Genty out of this game. You're going to have to take some shots. And I agree with you faster than you. Get out of the pocket. Create with your legs. Throw the football down the field. They're going to have to do some different things this week. Geno is going to have the best game that he's had in the silver and black. And that's not really saying a lot. If New England was his best performance, that's not really saying a lot. What was it? 1 touchdown, 2 touchdowns, 1 pick. And he did have a ton of yards in the air. I think he almost had like 400 yards or something along those lines. It's been forever since then. But he has to have a big game this weekend for sure. So, but I like that. McClendon Curtis, I like that we added him to the practice squad. This is great. This is great. This is the kind of moves you need to make to try and do whatever you can to salvage that O-line this week. If you want this O-line to be better and you want Brendan Carroll to be better at coaching an O-line, give him more talent on the O-line. Activate Caleb Rogers. Activate Charles Grant. You mean to tell me that you can't deactivate some of these other guys that are consistently active that are not showing any signs of life for us? Like, why not activate those guys? Like, try something different on the O-line. Move some things around. If we cannot continue to get the ground game going and Geno has no time to operate, don't you think that it's better to just go add a player or two like a McClendon Curtis or activate the Caleb Rogers of the world, the Charles Grants of the world, and just see what you can do there? Yeah, Ray OG, like Kappa has no reason to be active. Is your plans just to utilize him in the passing game? Is he a receiver now at this point? Like, what are we doing here? DeMarcus, I don't think that they're going to make any trades at all. But the thing is, you guys, when you have Stone Forsythe starting for you at left tackle, there's really no hope for that O-line. There's just no hope at all. There's none. When Colton Miller went down, it was just like a foregone conclusion. You're like, okay, we're going to be operating with shit. Honestly, like shit. Like, let me go ahead and just throw some expensive cologne on shit. There's no reason in the world you start Stone Forsythe over Charles Grant, regardless if he's ready or not. Have him go out there and learn the hard way. Learn the hard way. Put him out there and have him learn the hard way. In no world should he start over Charles Grant when you use the 3rd round pick on him. It's just kind of crazy. Then you got Dalton Wagner, another big body that you can utilize. Like, if you want to run the football, activate Dalton Wagner. Get him out there. Shit, put him at right tackle and put Glaze on the left side. At this point, commit to something. Commit to the run game. Geno is leading the league in picks with 10. Commit to the run game. Put your big bodies on the outside. Put Dalton Wagner at right tackle. If you don't believe in Charles Grant yet, put Glaze on the left side. Try something. Try something different. And then you got JPJ at guard, and and maybe you can, tinker with the interior of that O-line as well. But you got Dalton Wagner, a motherfucker that's like 6'18". You got Laki Tasi that's sitting over there, a big body that you can't tell me that he can't help in the ground game. I know he needs to work on his technique. I know that he needs to work on his footwork. I know he needs to work on his handwork. Laki Tasi is new to the sport, but at this point, he's a big body that can help in the ground game, or at least activate him and use him as a fullback. He's a rugby player. Do something. Just change it up. The O-line is bad. This is bad. At least show the fan base you're trying to better what you have right there in terms of product with that O-line. I would activate Wagner. I'd activate Laki Tasi. I'd activate Will Putnam. If you want to keep JPJ at the guard position, you guys, great. Move Meredith back to left guard. Put Putnam at center. Then bring up Dalton Wagner. Put him at right tackle. Move Glaze to the left side. Or whatever. And then utilize Laki Tasi and JJ Pegues at fullback. Or whatever the hell you could do. But something needs to give here because this existing O-line that you have is just not working. It's not working. And you're doing nothing but slowing down the development of your star running back, Ashton Jeanty, that you just used the number 6 pick on in the first round. You're doing nothing but failing Ashton Jeanty. You're doing nothing but failing Geno Smith. You know what I mean? Like, it just honestly, I'm actually surprised that Geno, I have to say this, I'll give Geno some credit. He has not thrown this offensive line under the bus once. He leads the league in picks. It'd be so easy for Geno to be like, dog, it starts up front. You guys know why I can't go through my progressions? Because I don't have no fucking time to throw the football. You know why I just stare down my receiver? Because I don't have no time to throw the football. And even when I do, I'm shocked that I actually have time because the O-line is terrible. I'm shocked, to be honest. Hey, man, Geno, you're better than me, brother, because I would be throwing these guys under the bus. I'm like, look, man, it starts up front. And these guys suck. It just is what it is. And I love JPJ. Love JPJ. Love Glaze. I think Meredith can be a really good guard. He was last year. But it is what it is. Salute to the 1,000 people here in the building, man. Salute to my guy, Raider OGP. I hate when Pete said absolutely not to the reporter when asked to move JPJ to center. Lets us know his ego is too big, and saying absolutely not means you shut the door on a period. This is facts. Salute Graphk, the ball head nut. Real ones know, Raider OG. Look, they call me G-Bo. G-Bo. Not C-Bo, G-Bo. The ball head nut. Salute to my guy, OGP. I appreciate you on a $20 special. So, but I do believe you guys will be very, very, we'll talk about the Chiefs, all week long. We'll get back to that game and we'll discuss, more as we figure out who's going to be active, who's going to be who's not going to be active this week and so on and so forth. But I want to say this, man, the deadline is right around the corner and we need to be very, very active. Very, very active in terms of offloading contracts, offloading players that you could potentially get something for before they walk for nothing. So I think the next 2.5 weeks are going to be very telling about what Spytech and company. I think that honestly, if you lose this game by a ton, you just need to embrace the rebuild, not the tank, because we're not tanking. We're just not a good football team. You know what I mean? But you need to embrace the rebuild. You need to embrace that what we have right now is just not working and move on from it. Move Jacoby, get whatever you can. Move some of these other guys and get whatever you can. Simple and plain. Primos, yes, me and Darcy will be having a preview for sure. And also tonight, the AFC West show, and we'll talk everything AFC West tonight. So it's my guy, Rube. Only the Raiders would have Stone Foreskin and Alice Cap on the active roster in 2025. Let the young boys loose. Could you imagine that? You got Ashton Jeanty, Rube, and you have Geno, a 34-year-old quarterback who is struggling with picks, struggling with interceptions right now, and you have the 2 worst rated offensive linemen in football from last year, Alice Kappa and Stone Forsythe. Only the Raiders would find a way to utilize these guys as starters. And once again, I know Colton Miller went down and no one's seen that coming, but also you have other players that you can throw out there over Stone Forsythe. It just doesn't make any sense. So nasty work. Nasty work. Edgar, we have not found a Charger guy. I'm still trying to find a Charger fan, let alone a Charger content creator. So it's difficult to find whatever we can. And that is hilarious. Stone Foreskin. I just realized that Rube said Stone Foreskin. Military, I've been waiting. I've been waiting for him to roll out and try to make some moves with his legs. You know, it seems like the only time you see him roll out is when it makes no sense. You remember when he rolled out and ran right into a sack? Pause if necessary. I'm just waiting. I'm waiting to see that part of his game. It's nasty work. It's nasty work. Salute to my guy, Just Raiders, baby. Salute to Raider. Feel this. All my Green Dot Gang people in the building, man. Good to see my people here rocking with me. As always, wiped and feet, you guys. Make sure you hit that subscribe button if you guys are not subscribed yet. Real quick, give me some predictions. I know it's early. I know it's only Tuesday. But let me know, you guys, what do you think the final score will be this Sunday at Arrowhead with our Raiders going out there to face the Chiefs? Let me know. I want some honest predictions. Nothing crazy, nothing biased. Give me some real score predictions this weekend against the Chiefs. If you feel we're going to win, be honest. Say it. If you think we're going to lose and get blown out, be honest. I want to see what you guys have with this team. Salute to Gio. Stone and Kappa make Brandon Parker look like all pro. This is facts. Golly, bro. Brandon Parker, dog. Another Raider herpes member. Another piece of the Raiders herpes club. There's a few guys that are in that club. Brandon Parker, you know, look, we love Ollie. We love Ollie, but Greg Olsen always finds his way back into the Raider Nation, right? You know, he's definitely in that herpes club. I'm trying to think who else. Who else is in the herpes club? Brandon Parker, him. There's a few other guys. I can't think right now because we're live. We're on the fly right now. But Brandon Parker is definitely the spokesmodel, the spokesperson for the Raiders herpes club. Definitely. For sure. Salute to my guy Gio, man. 59-10 Chiefs. Primo. Oh, shit. Jay has it 24-22 late field goal. Defense steps up 3 sacks and 1 pick. Okay. L11, 28-10 Chiefs. All right. Adrian, 2017 Raiders. Q, 24-17 either way. DeMarcus, 24-21 Raiders. Kuntz, 2 sacks. Okay. One Nation, 31-23 Raiders. Sir Dre, 28-24 Raiders. Okay. Honestly think we lose by 17. Salute to Razor. Desert Raider has 31-13. Queef's Kingdom. Shillin Villain, 28-16 Chiefs. Raider Laker from the 916, 31-24 the Raiders. Okay. Can I ask you guys this? And once again, this is no shade to my people in the chat. What have you guys seen from this team? What have you seen enough to pick the Raiders in this game? The Tribe has it 38-9 Chiefs. Raider Roscoe, 31-10 Chiefs. Okay. I want you guys' honest opinions here. What have you seen with this team? What have you seen enough of this team to think that we're going to go out to Kansas City and beat this team? Once again, we're all Raider fans. We all love this team, but we're also logical, right? We also know what we're seeing here. You know, like I'm just trying to figure out, do you think that just maybe this team wakes up this week and they go out there and they perform at a high clip? I haven't seen anything. Even the performance New England. Even the point in New England, it wasn't enough for me to think that this team can go out there, because outside of that first drive offensively in the first half, we stalled, and then we started to pick it back up in the second half. This team has not shown any consistency in terms of performing at a high clip. So I don't know why some of you guys would have the Raiders winning this football game. I think we all need to be honest and transparent here, and I think every single person in this chat should have the Chiefs winning this football game. Now, honestly, we all want our team to win. Right? We all want our team to win. And definitely, I'm rooting for my football team always, especially against the Chiefs. I can't stand them. But I think that everybody in this comment section needs to be honest here and be real, and let's stop being biased here. I think everybody should have the Chiefs winning. My God, I did not see a super, my brother. I did not see a super. Somebody said, my bad, bro. Did you read my super? I didn't see it. I did not see a super, brother. But just put your comment in the comment section. Oh, I got it. Salute to my guy, Jason Hunter, my brother, man. Gifting 10 of them things, brother. You don't have to do that, but salute to the Mod Father, one of the Mod Fathers here, my guy, Jason Hunter, Raider Demon King, my brother. Salute to all the new members here in the building. If you guys missed out on those 10, hit the link. Is pinned up top. We have been losing members like crazy because of how the Raiders have been performing, and I get it. I understand it. Nobody wants to put up their hard-earned money on a shit product. We have been losing members like crazy. I looked at the list the other day. I said, holy shit, did we just lose like 500, 600 members? Jason said, we're going to bring them back slowly but surely. Salute to my guy, Jason. And I get it. I understand. Once again, I definitely understand the thought process of saying, I don't want to pay for this shit product. I get it. I understand. But Jay, I appreciate you, my brother, as always. Raider Deep 510. Man, McLennan is a big dub. Hated moving on from me as well, because his size and that's like what I like the most. I miss the big nasty O-line we used to have. This is facts. Facts plus tax, my brother. Facts. Salute to my guy 510, man. I appreciate you, brother. And I'm very excited that we added him to the practice squad. Hopefully we elevate him very, very soon. If you can bring in Stone Forsythe and have him be on the active roster, there's no fucking reason McClendon Curtis can't be called up immediately. Faster than you, I understand, brother. You are here, and I appreciate you. If anything, all I ask is just hit the like button, keep us in the algorithm. And if you can, share the link and let everybody know what we got going on over here. Trust me, everybody's having financial problems right now in this world. So I get it, brother. I get it. So, Punchy, I hear you. I hear you, bro. Salute to my guy, Punchy. But, you know, I won't go into my spiel. Let me see. Oh, yeah, Silver and Facts. You know that Spags is going to cook some shit up. I mean, didn't we interview Spags to be the head coach this offseason? I believe we brought him in. I don't think for once that Spags doesn't feel used, you know, going out there and leaving Vegas without a deal. I believe we did interview him this offseason to be the head coach. Don't think for once that Spags isn't going to use that as some extra fuel to say, go out there and beat the shit out of this team, especially coming off of a major, major win against the Detroit Lions. Look, man, that offense is waking up right now at the right time. So, you know, if we want to win this game, everything has to go right. I mean, everything has to go right. Geno cannot have one turnover. You have to go out there and perform at a high clip at every facet of the game. Special teams, you have to have a game. Defensively, you have to have a game. Offensively, you have to have a game. If you want to beat the Kansas City Chiefs this weekend, it has to be the closest to perfection that we have seen in a long time. Simple and plain. Salute to my guy, man. Infinity Stones, Forsyth, Red Light, Z White, Kappa, don't block right. Brennan Carroll put up no fight. Laugh out loud, I'm trolling. Oh, shit. Salute to my guy, Ready D over here rapping. Bars. Salute to my guy, 5'10", man. Hilarious. Yeah, even one pick or a fumble, it's over. Edgar, this is facts. Facts. And once again, you have to run the football effectively and keep Patrick Mahomes off the football field. We got over 1,000 people in the room, you guys, between YouTube and Twitter. Get those likes up. We should have at least 1,000 thumbs up. Can we do that? We got over 1,000 people rocking. Can you guys hit the like button, keep us in the algorithm, and hit that subscribe button if you're not subscribed yet. Everybody thinks the Chiefs are going to win with Rice coming back and beating the Lions. I mean, bro, they're the better team, Jeff. That's the thing. Honestly, I don't think anybody should pick the Raiders over the Chiefs. Do we all want the Raiders to win? Definitely. But anyone that chooses the Raiders over the Chiefs is delusional at this point. I'm not going to go on this AFC. I'm going to let y'all. Let me let you guys in on something, okay? Real early. Tonight's show, you are not going to hear anything that you guys want to hear in terms of the Raiders Chiefs. You're not going to hear anything that you want to hear. I'm telling you now. I'm going to tell Darcy. I'm going to tell Ben. Chiefs, y'all got it. Until this team shows me otherwise, I cannot believe that they're going to go out to Arrowhead and win this football game. Simple and plain. I'm still thinking about the Bears game. And they went out there and beat the Commanders on the last-second field goal last night. Monday Night Football. Ben Johnson, the reason I wanted him in, that offense looks a lot more fun than ours, right? This is why. I wanted to bring in Ben Johnson, but, you know, it is what it is. We ended up with Pete Carroll, and now we're here, and we got to deal with it. John, the thing is this. Buffalo's defense is ass. Atlanta has one of the better defenses in football. They have a great defensive-minded head coach. They have a ton of weapons on the offensive side of the ball. Michael Penix has looked good. He looked great last night. I think he had like 177 yards passing. Bijan Robinson and Tyler Algier had a great 1-2 punch at the running back position. I mean, they got, you know, Drake London. I mean, honestly, bro, like, I to be real, I'm not shocked that Atlanta beat Buffalo at all. Buffalo continues to, like, go out there and think that Josh Allen is good enough to just win football games with those weapons that he has on the offensive side of the ball. Give him a true number one. They just keep running with the Josh Palmers of the world, the Shakirs of the world. Like, you know, like, go get him a real number one. I like that, you know, Cook and Ray Davis. Ray's my guy. But that defense is bad in Buffalo. And they were beat up. They were losing players left and right yesterday. So I'm not shocked that the Falcons won. I'm actually not shocked that the Bears won. The Commanders' defense is not scary at all. At all. I'm here for it. I'm here for it. Hey, Buff, shoot us a third. At the bare minimum, shoot us a fourth. I'm here for it. Come on. Come get your Kobe. Why not? Send him back to the AFC East. I'm here for it. But once again, the Falcons are a different football team, you guys. They have a great defense. They have a ton of weapons on the offensive side of the ball. They have a young signal caller in Michael Penix Jr. They're going to be one of the better teams in football here in the next year or so. I think they're 3-2 right now. They're a good football team in a very, very bad division outside of, you know, Tampa Bay, of course. You know, they look really good. But that's going to be a nice battle out there for years to come. Baker and Michael Penix. That's going to be a really good 1-2 punch out there in that division of NFC South. Yeah, Dan. I mean, look, bro. And I think with Genty, right, you need to have that 1-2 punch. That's why I was upset that they didn't double dip at the running back position. They went and got a 33-year-old Raheem Mostert. Like, could you guys imagine what this offense would look like if they went and got Scatterboo? I wanted Genty and Scatterboo. If you're going to commit to the run, commit to the fucking run. Scat went in the 4th round. You mean to tell me that you couldn't get Scatterboo over one of Caleb Rogers or Charles Grant? I knew that Scatterboo was going to be a dog. And once again, it's very early, but I knew he was going to be a dog. But could you imagine this offense with Genty and Scatterboo? Salt and pepper? That would have been fun. If you want to commit to the run and you have a really, 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 you know, questionable offensive line, you should have double dipped there. You shouldn't have got a 33-year-old Raheem Mostert. You shouldn't have kept Zamir White on this roster. He's not that dude. So, you know what, Big Red? I'm going to say this because I know Wasted wanted Baker Mayfield, right? And this is look, Wasted was definitely right about Baker Mayfield. But I'm going to say this. What did he really show? And, right, he kind of got caught in that Cleveland whirlwind where everybody just goes out to Cleveland and dies a miserable death. But I just didn't see enough from Baker Mayfield in Carolina, with the Rams, with the Browns. Some people may have seen it, you know, and that's great. Wasted was definitely one of them, but I didn't see it. I didn't see it. I don't think anybody's seen him being this good. You know, he's in a really good situation, though. Great coaching staff, you know, a ton of wide receivers around him, a great run game with Bucky and White. Like, they have a really good situation in Tampa Bay. If Baker Mayfield came to the Raiders, you guys, trust and believe, we would be getting Cleveland Baker Mayfield. We would be getting Carolina Panthers Baker Mayfield. We would be getting a Los Angeles Rams Baker Mayfield. We would not be getting Tampa Bay Baker Mayfield. I'm telling you now. And he's in MVP discussions right now early on. But it wouldn't have been the same situation. He went to a really, really, really good spot in Tampa Bay. Really good spot. So, Bold Moves, I appreciate you, man. Thank you for the content. Salute to my guy, Bold Moves Entertainment, man. Salute to my dog, 510, also on becoming a member. I don't know if you became a member or if you upgraded your membership. I can't see here right now, on the other side of things, but I appreciate you, brother. Realist Raider, he hasn't always balled. He looked really, really bad at times, brother. I don't want to act. We can't act as though Baker Mayfield was always him. Remember, at one point he had prime, Odell Beckham, and then he had with Jarvis Landry up there, and they struggled to throw the football. They couldn't get the passing game going, and they had prime Nick Chubb. So, but yeah, man. Salute to everybody here in the building. As always, I'm about to get out of here, man. I leave tomorrow. Once again, you guys, I'm gonna go spend some time with my kids. They are home today from school. They had the last 2 days off. I'm gonna kick it with them tonight. AFC West Roundup Show. Me, Darcy, Ben. We'll be discussing everything AFC West. We'll talk even more about the Raiders and Chiefs. We'll go a little bit more into detail. And then also I have a few previews with a few Chief content creators this week. Stay tuned for that also. Again, you guys, salute to everybody for all the kind words in the comment section, all the DMs about all the love for Shieldmore and all the love for that stuff. Once again, I'm going to say this, sometimes shit happens in life and you go through shit with your brothers, you know what I mean? And sometimes it comes out publicly. Sometimes it remains behind closed doors. Wasted knows. He said it on his live yesterday. I'm a crazy motherfucker. I definitely am. And sometimes, both of us can be stubborn and be stuck in our ways, very Pete Carroll-esque. But real ones always connect. They talk behind the scenes. They make things right. Salute to my brother. And, you don't know, man. Maybe here soon you'll see you'll see one of the ones. Maybe you'll see the best podcast in Raider Nation return very, very soon. Y'all want that? Do you want the however you slice it? Do y'all want that? Let me get a 100 in the comments section. Do you want the however you slice it? Let me know. And salute to Primos, my guy, man. We have to tell ourselves this. Just because a player is balling out in another organization doesn't mean they'll ball out here. Not every situation is the same. Bingo, Primos. And guess what? Geno Smith looked good in Seattle for, 2 years? 2 Pro Bowl years? Struggled last year. They had a non-existent run game. Their O-line was really bad. But now look, he looks terrible here. Right? It's situational. Situational in the NFL. Guys go to certain places, it looks bad. You go somewhere else, it looks good. Situational, man. I see a lot of 100s. I see without a doubt. DeMarcus, I got you. We're actually working on that. Stay tuned for that as well. Bubba says, of course. Salute to my guy, Jordy. Okay. All right. Bet. Other than that, man, as always, salute to you guys. Love y'all. Appreciate you guys. I hope you pull up tonight, 8 p.m. Eastern, 5 p.m. Pacific time. AFC West Roundup. Pull up because Darcy is going to talk a ton of shit, and I need you guys to pull up and save me because this man, the text message that he is sending in the group chat is absolutely disgusting. Okay, it's absolute. Jordy says my wife was tripping that I was sad about 2 grown men that I'm not related to. Yo, that's hilarious, man. Salute to Dan. He says the dynamic duo, best Raider podcast in YouTube history. My dog. Appreciate you, brother. Real talk. Thank you for the kind words. Other than that, I am out. Love y'all.